By outdoor living, this is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah, the ultimate deck podcast. Let's go.
Welcome back, episode 201. Wade Laurent, Shane Chapman here on this Christmassy episode of the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Recorded December 22nd. It's getting close. You done your Christmas shopping?
Nope, haven't even started.
Started your Christmas shopping?
Nope. When this is over, I'm out of here.
To that.
That's the next on my to-do list.
Oh boy. I've got a couple things left to do for sure as well, so I'm also going to spend some of my afternoon doing that. My wife, stressed right out.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
She's usually ahead of the game, and this year she's not. And like she's home with the kids, and it's tough to get away for her, and so she's also stressing out right now because we're leaving tomorrow. So it's like the rest of today is all we have to get all this stuff done and wrapped and ready to go. So 'tis what it is.
'Tis what it is. Here it is.
Now this episode, we figured we would do this or that, or would you rather, whatever you want to call it, but it's Christmas edition. Because Christmas is coming up right away.
Okay.
By the time this actually gets posted, it'll be all over.
Yeah, it'll actually probably be February.
Or February. So a Christmas edition of this or that.
You have some backlog.
I do have some backlog. We'll clean that up over the holidays here. Would you rather, Wade, drink a gallon of eggnog or eat a whole gingerbread house?
Gingerbread house.
Even if it's like one of the like dollar store ones, it's like you could break a tooth.
I can't... there's no chance that I could drink a gallon of eggnog.
It's quite a bit. That's a lot of eggnog. I actually really like eggnog.
I think we were talking about this just the other day. It's like when you get into your 40s, for some reason you become lactose intolerant. You don't even actually know that until you get older. And so like if I drank a gallon of eggnog, it would not...
We'd all pay.
Everyone in the universe would be in trouble.
Yeah, if I had a whole day to do this, I think I'd prefer the eggnog. But if it's like you got to do this in the next half an hour, then I think I would have to do the gingerbread house too.
Oh, there's no sorry.
There's no time. Like I don't know.
Well, yeah, but eggnog would expire after what, a week or something.
See, the gingerbread houses that you buy in the kits all the time, they're just like
they would taste
cookie
off.
Part of it is awful. Like it's the hardest, most stale thing you've ever eaten.
But that's still better than...
But then there's icing, so that kind of like brings you back home a little bit.
Yep. So that's what I'm doing.
Would you rather skip celebrating Christmas or skip celebrating your birthday?
I would rather skip Christmas.
Really?
Yep.
Really? I'm a hard other way on this. I would rather skip my birthday.
Well, I like my birthday.
I like my Christmas. What do you do on your birthday though? Normally, like
Whatever
what's a normal birthday? It's like a date. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I
don't do anything I don't do anything super special, but it's
right,
like...
So what are you missing if you skip it? See, you're missing nothing.
Well, I get it is super selfish, but everybody calls me and they celebrate me that day.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't think that that's bad.
Yeah, the difference between you and I is probably the kid situation, likely.
100%.
Because if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't be nearly as involved in Christmas as I am. But it's it's super fun again because the kids are all at that perfect prime age. Like the one's too young to know better, the one's too old to care. But the two in the middle are like prime, Santa Claus, Christmas tradition, all that stuff is great.
Yeah.
And I do I enjoy Christmas music. I enjoy decorating the house.
I don't enjoy
Christmas
music.
the decorating of the house. I just enjoy once it's decorated.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the getting out of town and going and visiting family and
so
the
that
constant
for me,
trough of food is
so that for me is
disgusting,
that's
but
the
pleasurable.
tricky part, right? So with Christmas comes seeing everyone, and I like that quite a bit.
Yeah. See, my
I
birthday
don't see my family
comes and
as
goes
much
and-
as I probably should.
Yeah.
So seeing my sister and my niece and nephew like that, that's a lot of fun.
there's good in it. But does that happen on your birthday?
It does not happen on my birthday.
There you go. I can feel the tides changing here.
Nope.
Okay. Anyway, my birthday, I don't know even know when the last time was that I really cared about my birthday. It's a non-day to me.
You didn't do anything special for your 40th?
Probably. Like, I don't remember. I imagine that we probably did.
Okay.
Dude, my memory is so bad. It's so bad.
Sus.
It is.
I believe they call that sus.
Would you rather wake up on Christmas morning with family and stuff, like a normal Christmas, but with a massive hangover? Or would you rather wake up alone, like everybody's gone and like you're hanging out, feel fine, but you're doing the day by yourself?
Hangover.
Yeah?
Yep. I'd rather have the family around and be like hung.
Like can't get out of bed hungover. Like sick.
No. Like you always get out of bed. But you,
Yeah. This one time though.
Yeah.
I found my way back there pretty quick. Yeah. Oh, this one's so hard for me because I do love the family component, but God, I hate being hungover. Especially when you're so sick you can't do anything.
It's
but
Christmas time. You just get up and have yourself a little rum and eggnog and get going.
Oh God. But like if you're so sick that you can't even enjoy the things that you like about Christmas, then is it good to even have it in your house happening around you when you can't take part in it?
Yes.
Boy, oh boy, that's a tough one. But yeah.
But who wants to be alone on Christmas?
Well, that's the thing. This is a tough one.
That's not tough.
This is tough.
Not for me.
I guess I would choose a hangover as well. But like,
because you can fix that.
Can you though?
Yes.
At this age, only time fixes it, and
No.
it takes more than the day.
No. You can just start again.
Fair. Just the thought of that makes me gag a little bit. The topic we're going through today, so interesting take. We've done a similar episode to this before. However, have you heard of ChatGPT? Like, aside
only
from the
from
fact
you.
that I've told you about it?
Yeah. But before you, I had not.
Okay. So there's this new artificial intelligence out there, this linguistic artificial intelligence. Good word.
Like a university word almost.
Yeah, kind of. That
Did it tell you that word?
they've released that it's not like a lot of AI has to be programmed and then it's just basically like repeating things that it's learned.
Yeah.
It can't think for itself. So if you teach the AI the steps to build a table, this is how I had it explained to me. If you teach, let me roll this back a little bit. This new AI thinks like a human. It can apply its knowledge to different scenarios.
Okay.
So whereas previously it's like if you teach a person how to be a carpenter and they've never built a table before in their life, but you've taught them the principles of carpentry,
Yes.
they can figure out how to build a table because they can apply that to something that even though they've never done it before.
Yeah.
And that's what this AI is capable of doing.
Okay.
Applying its knowledge to situations it's never been encountered, never taught, never asked, never whatever. As opposed to previous AI would have had to be taught how to build the table specifically for it to be able to like repeat that back.
These are the steps.
And say it, right?
Yeah.
So this one's cool because it's just like you can ask it anything and it won't even answer the same question the same way twice because it's actually like in a way kind of thinking of the answer. It knows the probability of the words that need to follow, whatever. So like it won't answer the same thing exactly the same way twice, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, and kind of scary.
Kind of scary too. So
This is like we're getting closer to when you were like younger and we used to watch movies and the movies would always be like the robots are going to take over.
This is step one.
I don't think this is step one. I think this is like step 50, but we're getting a lot closer.
Yeah. But they weren't scary before because they couldn't really learn themselves. It's like it can only be as smart as what you gave it. So it can never be like smarter than human. Here's the scary part of this thing. It's learned to speak French and it wasn't taught to speak French.
Oh yeah.
So it has just like, I don't know how, but it is somehow it can answer questions in another language now that it was never programmed or taught to do. The only thing they say that it has is that part's creepy.
This is not good.
The other part to this is they say it does have some biases because they've released like this technology is available to the world and they don't want this thing teaching people bad things. They don't want you to go on there and be like, how do I ruin my neighbor's life or like something like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get too gruesome, but like
Yeah.
it won't give you suggestions on how to harm other people or whatever.
Yeah.
So they have included some bias in it
Okay.
to have it be more positive and it won't like give you it'll try to like guide you away from negativity.
Yes.
So they say the bias where that comes into play sometimes in a bad way is if you ask it something about like something horrific that actually happened, it may put a more positive spin on things. It's like, who is Jeffrey Dahmer? And it might be like, Jeffrey Dahmer, really nice guy. Like, I don't know exactly what it's going to say, but it's not going to like give you all the gory details. It's going to like soften it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the bias. Anyway, so we thought this would be fun.
He's a guy that they made a TV show about just recently.
Yeah.
It seems to be quite successful.
Yeah, he's a Netflix star, but I don't think that's the whole story, though. So we thought this would be fun to like come up with a topic, punch it in there, and see what the artificial intelligence has to say about it.
Okay.
There's no doubt that this thing is smarter than both you and I combined.
Yeah.
So,
but that's not really a feat. Like,
we should probably,
let's be honest.
We should probably just use this more often. This might be a more useful podcast if we do.
Westrom has chimed in on the live chat.
Okay. And is he commenting on the artificial intelligence?
He's curious if the new AI will avoid cutting its thumb off.
You should ask it. Like, how do I? Yeah, I mean, so the thing's fun. Like you can ask it anything, see what it says. We should ask it afterwards. How do I avoid cutting my thumb off on a table saw?
Well, let's get Western to do that. What is it called again?
Don't be ChatGPT. So we thought up the topic, and it's one that we've kind of covered before, but it's that time of year where it's like, by the time this gets posted, she's gonna be like New Year's time, and so this is also generally the off season for a lot of contractors. Some work all the way through. Some take this time off. Some go vacation. Like depends on how you set your business up. But we asked ChatGPT, what are 10 business things contractors should work on in the off season?
Yes.
And it's given us a list of 10. And I'm going to read them word for word because I want you to hear how this thing communicates. And then we'll discuss a little bit.
Okay.
Y'all ready? A little bit generic, but I think setting clear business goals is a good thing. We do this certainly every year. It's kind of like we sit down, we figure out our targets for the next year. And
like last week we actually did, right?
Yeah. If you don't have a destination in mind, it's hard to get where you want to go. So setting up these destinations and then making sure that your itinerary is going to
like it just gives you a
target. I tried to like pun the shit out of that and it was like, it was awful.
It wasn't working.
No. But anyways, set your business goals. So those could be a variety of things. Like the one that people jump to most often is like a revenue target. And it's like, okay, well, your contracting business did $750,000 this year. It's like your goal next year might be $1 million. Maybe that's a target for you. It could be to spend more time with your family. It could be like, I really like stretched myself thin this year. I think next year I want to spend more time with my family. Whatever these goals are, but now's the time that you're out of it. You're not in the busy season. You can kind of step back and like analyze things, consider some data if you want.
Have that like
be less emotional about the stress of the season.
Yeah, it was like have that awkward like conversation with yourself about all the things that you didn't do well.
Yeah.
Right? And just be like,
discovery time.
Well, here it is. I actually did suck at all of these things.
Yeah.
Try and make one of them better.
Yeah. So set some business goals that you want to achieve this year. Number 2, develop a marketing strategy. Create a plan to reach new customers and promote your business to your target audience. Thank you, ChatGPT. Great tip.
Really, really good.
Somewhat high level again. But the fun thing about this is it is conversational. So you could then ask it and be like, tell me more about creating that marketing strategy you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it would be like, sounds good. And it'll go into more detail on these specific points.
Which marketing?
Yeah. So pretty generic here, but develop a marketing strategy for, this could be a whole episode on its own if we start diving into it. But now's the time too, because in the middle of the season, it gets really hard to like stay on top of these things. And you become just like this ad hoc monster of just throwing things out there and just doing what you have the time to do rather than like really strategically thinking what you want to do.
Which looks exactly like
our account.
You have, our account. But it looks exactly like you have no time.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Or worse, you don't do it at all.
Yep.
Because you just
don't do that.
I find the best thing to do to get like to have a productive day is to get organized first. And sometimes it's hard to carve out time to like organize yourself or clean your office or whatever because you're like, I got so much to do. I can't spend half an hour like creating a to-do list. And it's but if you do, you instantly become so much more productive like right away by taking that little bit of time out. So I think this is kind of that. It's like spend some time creating the strategy so that you've almost got more of a checklist and you don't have to spend so much time thinking throughout the year of what you need to do and when you need to do it. It's already done. It's already laid out and you just have to follow the plan now. So I like that one quite a bit.
Agreed.
Number 3, improve customer service. Make a commitment to providing excellent service to your customers, including responding promptly to inquiries and addressing any issues that may arise.
Yeah, that probably ties back to number 1 too.
Setting clear business goals?
Yeah. Where I was like, find the thing that you sucked at. And so, if you did struggle with customer service, there you go.
Yeah, responding promptly to inquiries. That's one that gets tricky for a lot of guys because this is obviously a contractor-focused episode, if you haven't figured out it already. But so that's who we're speaking to right now. But it gets tough in the
It can also
heat
be retail.
of the season. Sure,
Right?
just not a homeowner episode necessarily.
Yeah.
Not much value in them other than the whether they're now thinking about where they want to drink eggnog or eat a gingerbread house. That's what they got out of this episode.
Or if a contractor gets them a quote or gets them a 3D design, like reply promptly. Even if your reply is just like, gonna need more time.
For the homeowner, you're saying?
Yeah.
The homeowner should also reply
Yeah.
promptly? Yeah, sure.
Like you have this.
Communication's got to go both ways, right?
Yeah. You've done some 3D designs and then it's just like poof, gone. You're
Well,
like,
yeah, I've got some that
Now
are
what?
they're dragging on a long time.
am I supposed to get back to you?
Yeah.
is
And
this-
sometimes
do you
it's
think
me not like taking too much time to get back to them, and then
Yeah.
they took too much time to get back to me, and then it's like turns what should be like a week or two thing into like a
months?
4-month, 5-month
Yeah.
thing.
It's not ideal.
So improve your customer service. So take a step back and I guess just kind of strategize around that a little bit too. What does it mean? What does it look like to provide a good customer service? What are the things you need to do? Well, I need to get back to people within X amount of time. Setting expectations is one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And having a process that you communicate to them early and often as well. It's
Yep.
like, here's how this is going to
This is what it's
go
gonna look like.
when you work with me.
Yeah.
And so then it removes some of that, like so much emphasis on needing to be like communicating all the time. If they know what the next step is, you're not leaving them wondering. Therefore, you don't need to be on top
You're
of
like
them all the
checking
time.
boxes for them.
They're
as
like,
you go
I
through.
understand that once a permit is submitted, then it's going to take some time. I don't need to like badger them. And I'm not like, why isn't he phoning me? It's
Yeah.
like, there's a lull in here. Once I submit the permit, I'm going to go dark for a little bit, worry
Yeah.
about other things until we're ready to go.
Yeah.
So if they just understand your process, that can help with providing a good customer experience. I think each one of these could be their own episode. How fun. Number 4.
Yeah, so fun.
Build your team. Consider hiring additional staff or subcontractors to help you take on more work and grow your business. I think for a lot of contractors, when they think about building their team, they think about adding crews. That's where their head goes all the time. I need to add another crew this year. I need to add another crew this year.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the only, nor maybe even the best way to grow your business, is just by adding more capacity. Doesn't
that's
necessarily
funny.
fix anything, right?
In my head, I think like you build the office, get a good accountant, get somebody to help manage your schedule.
Yeah, free you up to do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly adding a crew can be part of this strategy of building your team and growing the business. It probably is.
Yeah.
But I think what guys tend to do, a lot of guys, not everybody, some guys have it figured out really well. What a lot of people do though is they build the crews, get overwhelmed, and then the business gets them in trouble because they didn't stay up to snuff on running the business.
Yep.
All of a sudden they're like, they have no idea if they're making money or not. They're not paying their bills. Maybe not because they don't have the money, because they're not organized enough to.
Yeah.
They don't have any time to dedicate to this. They start complaining. They're like, I just have to go and babysit all these crews all the time because they haven't done appropriate training or whatever else. It's like they're still doing the estimates and they're still doing on-site consultations, and they're just run off their feet because they didn't hire anybody on the back end to help them run the business.
Yep.
So build your team. Salesperson, I should say.
Sure.
An accountant.
Yeah.
Those kind of people, likely more important than adding that, to have those before you add the second crew, before you double your workload.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
good one, ChatGPT. Number 5, stay up to date with industry trends. Keep an eye on what's happening in your industry and make sure you're using the latest tools and techniques to stay competitive. I like this one. We like to do this.
Yeah.
And these are generally off-season things.
Yeah. Typically brands or companies try to make this information available in the off season.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yeah, a lot of the new products get released this time of year.
Yeah. Or next month.
Which on the surface may seem like a weird time to release things. It's like, yeah, but like, why wouldn't you do that in the middle of the season when everybody's thinking about decks? It's like, because the logistics part has to happen before it's available to people to actually buy and use. So it's got to happen now because it needs to work its way through down to retail. Like
Correct.
Your product needs to get through the channel and get some steam before
you have to be like, these are great.
Yeah.
Then,
if you launch a product in July, you're too late. Everybody's already committed to what they're doing for the year.
Or too early. Because they're like, oh yeah, okay, this would be good for next year. But that's 6 months away. And then they've forgotten.
Yeah. So a lot of new stuff happens now. And that's what we get busy with right now on the retail side of things. But also the trade shows happen now. Deck Expo was just about a month ago, a little over a month ago. IBS is coming up in just over a month. We also have our WRLA Retail Lumber Association meeting, show and meetings in about 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So that's happening then too.
18th, yeah.
And then your home shows and stuff happen too. That's probably not somewhere that you're going to sharpen your knife and like learn yourself, but you can take what you did learn and use that to sell yourself at the trade shows coming up.
Yep.
But staying on top of the industry trends. So some people are really set in their ways and they only want to work with wood and they only want to do this and whatever, and things aren't changing at a big pace. So then whatever, skip this one then.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who wants to know what the latest and greatest products are that are coming out so that you can offer those to your customers, then now is a great time to do it.
Yep.
Both because you have time and now is when the things are happening in the industry anyway.
Exactly.
Number 6, update your website and online presence. Make sure your online presence reflects the current state of your business, including your services, pricing, and contact information.
Yeah. I would have said that last word differently than you did, but that's fine.
That's fine. I said it the American way.
No, you didn't.
I like doing this every off season too, kind of doing almost like a self audit of your own communication that's out there. And so now is the time to go dig into your website and all of a sudden you roll across something and it's like, oh shoot. Like in the middle of the year, I started deciding that I wasn't going to take phone calls after 7:00 at night, but my website still says, call me anytime, 24/7 or something, right?
Yep.
You forgot to update that. Oh shoot. I moved out of my basement office into a location specific to my business and I didn't update my address on the website. Shoot.
Yep.
My Google listing's out of date. It doesn't say when I'm open, my hour, like all sorts of things. Now's the time to dive into that stuff and make sure it's all accurate.
Put some new pictures up.
Yeah. Pump your portfolio. If you haven't kept up with it all year long, now's the time.
But you haven't. We both know that.
We both know that. And back to number 2 a little bit, like figure out where your website and your online presence fits within your marketing strategy.
Yeah.
And don't just ignore it until this time next year and then update it all. Like plan to spend some time on these things throughout the year.
Yeah, like every 2 months. Be like, right?
Yeah. To do a dive into it, sure.
May
but also
1st
like, what are you doing to update it during the year? How are you staying active in that space? That is where the world is.
It's important.
So, I like that one as well. Number 7, expand your service offerings. Consider offering new services or products to your customers to diversify your business and increase your revenue.
Yep.
I'm going to say every last word different, just for you now.
Revenue.
Yeah. So if you're considering taking on different types of projects or different types of products, services, whatever, now is the time where you can kind of like do it properly and plan to like roll that out properly. So maybe you've always been just a deck builder and now you're wanting to get into the hardscape space as well to provide a more complete offering.
Yep.
Now is the time to like, because that's a big change. That doesn't just...
It's significant.
It's not just like, now I need to learn how to put pavers in. That's a whole new subset of tools, a whole new subset of potentially subcontractors you need to work with, a whole new subset of marketing materials you need to do. It just changes everything about your business. So if you're going to do a big change like that, now's the time to like get all your eggs in one basket and be able to think about it from a higher level strategic perspective and not forget things instead of just middle of the year being like, oh yeah, we do patios now too, by the way.
Yeah. I just think that if you don't plan for that, or if you don't prepare for that, you're most likely just going to end up in a lot of trouble. Like you're going to make a very expensive mistake is what's going to happen, right?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Will you get the patio in? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Will you be profitable? Almost for sure, no.
The other thing is now too is a time to change products like we mentioned, but what if you're making the change from wood framing to steel framing? do it now because you have a chance to, one, get trained, like book trained yourself, learn about the product.
Yep.
Potentially get some attention from your reps to help you learn the product. 2, get like hands-on training.
Yep.
So get some product in, work with the reps, see if you can get your hands on, build a display, or just like play around with it a bit so that you can decrease the learning curve on the job site.
Yep.
Because I know they say, like, especially with Fortress, and I'm sure the same thing for Newcastle, is like your first job, your first 3 jobs, you're going to feel like you're moving a little bit slower.
Yes.
But once you get the system figured out, you're going to be flying.
You
like as fast, if not faster than wood.
That's what they say.
But those first 3 are like, you got to learn a little bit. So what if you could carve some of that out and do that now, do some of that learning, skip some of the thinking so that when you hit your first job, it feels more like the third job.
Yep.
And then you're cruising.
Yep.
And then if you have to train your staff, again, update your marketing materials for these new products and stuff you're promoting. If you're wanting to make the switch to steel only, that's an entirely different way you need to approach the market.
Yep.
So get that figured out now as well. Number 8, build your network. Join industry organizations. Shout out to NADRA.
Yes.
Attend networking events and make connections with other contractors and professionals in your area. So this one's good as well. And certainly there's some people that don't care about being part of the larger industry as a whole. So if you don't, then skip this one.
Yeah. When I think of area, I think of the whole industry, right? Yeah. I think of like just what we just did at Deck Expo. It was like, go there, meet with people, visit.
Yeah. But even networking events could be such things like we just had our contractor Christmas party at our one location last week. One of our competitors just had theirs last night.
Yep.
And so you see photos of this and stuff, and it's like, it can, if you choose to let it be, it can be an awkward dynamic there because you're about to go in and hang out with all your competitors potentially.
Yeah.
But I think try to be more open-minded.
That was never awkward for me. Like
it wasn't a thing for me either, but I know it is for people. Like you see it from some people, or they say things, or like some guys just are so competitive that they don't want to be in the same room as their competition.
I don't get that, but yeah.
Anyway, but what you can potentially do, like you see some markets where guys are really open to it.
Certainly.
For example, just Scott Kelly there posted like a couple weeks ago. He needed help lifting a giant beam, and I don't remember what the weight was on this thing, like 430 pounds or something like that. And he's like, and the customer didn't want them to take it through the house, so it was going to be a little bit more tedious to get it up. And quick little text or phone call to a guy who he actually competes with in the same market, but they've grown to become good friends, was over there right away.
Ripped over and helped him.
So it's like, without that, he might have been stuck or screwed, but it's like, listen, you're both building the same things. Yes, you're technically competition, but there's lots of work to go around.
Yeah.
You're both busy.
Yep.
You both might even have your own niches that you're not, like you're competing, but you're kind of not.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing, but you're doing it for different people.
Yep.
So learn.
And you're like, why not help him? You're for sure not getting that job. He's already there. He's already doing that job.
Yeah. So you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
So you might meet somebody that ends up working for you, or maybe a future partner, or maybe just like helping each other out down the road. Or at the end of the day, maybe just meet somebody that you get along with personally, and maybe you can help grow your businesses together. Like maybe whatever. But
as Westrom's point on theirs, networking is very important. Many disregard it, and this is a huge loss to your business.
100%.
And I believe that we've networked with Mr. Westrom many a time, and that helps. That helps for sure. We've been in a jam for decking, and he has helped, and we've had the opportunity to help him back.
And even just sharing knowledge, like the whole point of these Facebook groups that have popped up over the last couple of years is to allow people to network. Yep. But they feel more comfortable, one, because it's not face-to-face. Not that I think there's many shy contractors, but also, two, because you're communicating with people that aren't your competition.
Yeah.
And so that just drops a barrier for them right away.
Yeah.
But these networking groups are great. You can learn things, learn different techniques. Everybody does things a little bit differently. Somebody might have thought of a more efficient way to do one thing, and you maybe have another more efficient way to do this other thing. And if you just stay in touch with people and follow along and be part of the industry, it's gonna benefit your business in the end.
Absolutely.
Number 9, invest in continuing education. Make sure you and your team are staying up to date with the latest industry trends and techniques by investing in ongoing training and education. So that sounds pretty similar to staying on top of industry trends, but
a little more knowledge focused.
I guess maybe that was our fault. Here's where the AI is actually smarter than us. It said industry trends, and we went right to like talking about learning about products and whatever. But like you might want to spend some time, if we roll back to number 5, maybe industry trends is supposed to be more like, my market is kind of transitioning to more brown tones in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's happening on the interior. That's eventually going to like come outside.
Yep.
So if interior flooring is going to more of a wide plank look and changing colors, it's like, well, that's what's next then for me too.
Yep.
People are starting to spend more monies on swim spas in their backyard. Maybe I need to get into that. Maybe I need to learn how to like put a proper base in for a swim spa and come up with different design things that work with it or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that was more number 5 is about. Number 9, continuing education, that training part. Go learn. Like Nadra's puts on a lot of courses, especially at like Deck Expo and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this can also be like business related things.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
go
learn some of your software a little bit better, or
Sure.
learn, like, maybe you're not perfect at reading a P&L statement.
Yeah.
Learn that.
Yeah.
Learn how to do that.
learn how to use your customer relationship management software a little bit better or
Yeah.
something, or go take a course from a financial consultant that helps you kind of like manage your cash flow. Like, we're just speaking from the heart here right now. It's like, these are the things that we're trying to get help with, right?
Yeah. Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. They're just top of my head. They're just rolling them off. Number 10, and the final one from Mr. Chat GPT, is improve your financial Improve your financial management. Implement financial management strategies such as budgeting, invoicing, and record keeping to better manage your business finances. So yeah, this one's not optional. You either figure this out or you go out of business. So now or
Well, there it
anytime
is.
is a good time to like tackle this one.
Yeah. But it's easier to do it. Not easier. No, it's easier. It's easier to do it now because you don't have the other stress. You don't have the other day-to-day stuff.
Yeah. But this is one where guys get into trouble because they start deck building businesses because they're deck builders, not because they're great business owners. That's the part they need the most help with. Most guys that start a deck building business can build a deck just fine. That's why they're doing it. They enjoy it. They're passionate about it. They've probably built 100 of them already.
Yeah.
But you've not run your own business, especially if you just came from working from somebody else, under somebody else.
Yeah.
You might have built 1,000 decks. You never respected what the owner of that business had on his plate outside of swinging the hammer.
Yeah. And you were like misled about what you were being billed at hourly versus what you're getting paid. That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if I go to my own, I could make $75 an hour, $90 an hour. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah. Well, that's what we charge. So it's like, that's a lot of money. He's only paying me 28. He's charging $75 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot in that
because that's what it takes.
gap there. That $47. There's a lot of expenses coming out of that $47.
Yeah.
So yeah, understanding your financials. I know that we like, especially the seasonal business. It's managing the cash flow for a business like ours, especially, or for a contractor who chooses to take the winter off and doesn't do projects then. It's like, you need to make sure that you're making hay when the sun shines so that you can carry yourself through the winter. That requires some like
cut the peaks off to fill the valleys,
right.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. But also just like, if you started this business one day out of the blue and didn't really know exactly what you were doing on the business side of things.
Speaking hypothetically.
Speaking completely hypothetically. I'm just saying, you might get a couple of years in and find out that you can't pay your bills to your retail lumberyard. So there's that. Learn that early and often, how to make money, how to pay your bills, what you need to charge. Because it's not as easy as like, I would like to make $50 an hour, therefore I'm going to charge $50 an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, there's more science to it than that.
It's too bad.
Especially when you go to scale.
What happens is you watch contractors learn that, and it's tough because when they start, you want to help. You want to be like, hey, I think you're doing a couple of things wrong. And then people get defensive. They're like, well, I know what, you don't know how to run my business. And you're like, you're right. I don't know how to run your business, but I have an idea how to run a business. And what I can see is you're not doing that. You don't have to do it the same as me, but you're making some mistakes right now.
Yeah.
And this is dangerous.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing that selfishly because I know that that's going to end up hurting us.
Yeah.
Either we lose that customer, or we lose that business, or or a friend fails.
Yeah.
So
yeah, It's a tricky conversation to have, but it's probably the most important one on this whole list is to make sure you have your financials understood and you're charging enough money to make the business work properly.
Yeah.
Or you're out. So
that's it.
What do you think? Like, I can't honestly say that we would have come up with a better list if
it would have said like very similar.
It would have been similar. I may have touched, I feel like you and I probably would have touched a little bit on the personal side of things too, taking a break. Spend some time with family, doing a mental health check, that kind of thing. Whereas this, but I mean, that's not what we asked it. We asked it, what are 10 business things a contractor should focus on in the off season?
Yep.
So we didn't say what personal and business. So it did exactly what we asked of it.
Yeah.
And it came up with 10 good things. So
that's pretty good.
It's cool. I'll play around with it some
more.
What
are you doing for your mental health over the holidays? What's your plan there?
I don't know. So we're going down to the farm tomorrow. That's always a nice break for a couple of reasons. One, it's just getting out of the city.
It's quieter.
So that's nice. It's just like different pace. 2, you're going to spend some time with family, which is nice.
Yeah.
3, there's lots of help there with the kids. So you can show up and it's like now it's
their problem.
4 kids on you all the time. It's like grandma and grandpa are there to help, and there might be an aunt or 2 there to help. And the kids are off doing their own thing. Like they're more willing to go play and do things by themselves or play outside or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to always be there. The grandparents are like excited. The kids are there. They want to go out. So it's like, I want to go inside and play. Somebody else is probably gonna be like, sounds good. I'll go with you. And you're like, yeah. So there's that part of it. Not worrying. Like, this is probably not a bad thing. It probably catches up with you later on the mental health side. But like, I don't monitor what I'm putting in my face hole during Christmas. Like, it's just an open door policy on that thing.
I will eat everything.
It's awful. I'm bad for it.
It's not awful. It is what it is.
I make that mental shift where it's like, okay, it's the holidays and there's goodies out here. And if I want to eat that thing, I'm just going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just turn that side of my brain off. It's like, no more checks and balances. No.
And January 3rd.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's when it catches up. You're like, shit, I got some work to do.
Yeah. Then you have what I refer to as hungry hangover. So you come back and you've spent like 2 weeks stretching your stomach out, and it turns out what you used to consume for food during a day is still not enough. It's not enough now, right? Yeah. You're like, you get halfway through the day and you're starving, and you're like, but I've eaten what I normally would eat. And
right.
It's like, well, yeah, but you're like, you have more capacity now.
Yeah.
You have to.
The other thing I'll inevitably do, and some people might roll their eyes and be like, that's not right for your mental health, but it's probably get some work done, to be honest. Like, we're off for a stretch of from the 23rd to the 3rd. So there's a good stretch in there with 0 other work distractions. As far as everybody else goes, we're closed. So I've got a bunch of bookings that are due on December 31st. I'd like to get them done before December 31st.
Yeah.
There's things that coming into the new year I'd like to get started on and get thinking about and do that. And so should I be spending my off time, family time working? Debatable. But it's going to relieve mental stress for me when I come back.
Right.
So that's, if I can do it at a more controlled pace.
Yeah, it's a fine balance to be like, to not let it all pile up on the end.
Yeah, because I don't want to do last week again. Like last week when we got back from Agribition was like, that was mentally draining.
Yeah.
It was a really tough week. And so there was a lot of late nights, and it threw my whole, I'm just out of sorts again with my sleep patterns and everything. It's like, that was not good. So I'd like to
get that fixed.
I'd like to pace things a little bit. So how about you? What are you doing over the holidays? First of all, what are you doing? And then what's your mental health break?
I'm going to go down to Arcola and hang out with the family. My sister and her kids are coming back from Calgary. They
nice.
haven't made the trip in a while, so that'll be good. I have plans to go hunting one day. I'm going to try and go pheasant hunting with one of our lumber reps. So that'll be pretty good.
Down
Estevan area.
Okay.
Weyburn area. So like an hour and a half south of here. Yep. So try and do that. And I'd like to ice fish if I could one day. I don't know when, if I will or not, but I'd like to do that. Yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of plans for work. I have we each have a to-do list. I'm going to try to do some of that, but I don't know.
We were gracious enough to give ourselves an extra week on that. It was like, the next time we were going to meet was January 3rd. And it's like, it's a big list. And it's like, you know what? Just in case.
Making sure
enjoy
that,
some holidays.
So I need to make sure that gets done because the following week I won't be here, right? So Week of the 3rd, I'm here. Week of the 10th, I'm here. Week of the 15th, I'm not here. And so like, I need to make sure that I get that stuff done because then I'm going to take nothing on for a while.
Yeah.
So
then you're back for a little bit and then gone to Vegas again.
Back, gone. Yep.
And then we have February and then March will be
Home
show,
shows.
home show.
Yep. And then season's on.
So yeah,
We have like 4 weeks left.
What do you do in the winter?
5 weeks.
Hang on. Well, you guys are busy? No, we're like the store's not busy.
Yeah. Retail's awful.
But
Super
it's
slow.
a crazy busy time of year for the business side of things.
Yeah.
Working on the business. So. Well, that's good. I already did my Arcola trip, so I won't see you there. We were down there last week.
I have the drawing for the kitchen in Saskatoon. I hope to get the kitchen for Saskatoon built while I'm down there with Dad.
Yeah, so the Saskatoon store has a lunchroom.
Yeah, but no
It's
cabinets.
like got a fridge and it's got like a table and stuff in there, but there's no cabinetry in there yet. That's been on the list of things to do. So, and no sink.
I was trying to shop local. No, that's not true. I was trying to not shop local, but couldn't get anything from IKEA. It was like out of stock.
Yeah.
My dad's a cabinet builder. Maybe I should just get him to build those for me.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Cool. Well, that's good. Well, I hope everybody has as enjoyable of a vacation from everyday life as we're planning to have over the holidays here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know January. I know a lot of people that are very organized, determined, and motivated in their own lives day to day. Kind of like don't look upon New Year's as this reset like the rest of the world does. And they don't look at it as like, don't just leave your resolutions for January 1st. Like make a change in your life now. But there's no doubt that, like, I don't care what you say. It is a nice time. It is the end of the year for the business.
Yes.
It's a fiscal end of the year for the business, for us.
Yeah.
It's like the end of the season happens now. It's like Christmas. It's just everything about it feels like you're kind of closing one chapter and about to open the next, regardless of how you live your life.
That's right.
And so I like this time because it's just like, okay, well, this year it is what it was. And now we get to start with new plans again.
Correct. Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. So
yeah, I always look forward to January. I don't make resolutions, but like it is nice to get this one wrapped up and be like, there, done.
Yeah.
Now, next.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And this, like I said, this is my cheat month on everything. So I don't know that I make a resolution, but I definitely do plan to come back. And it's like, there, you had your break, you had your unwinding, you didn't hold yourself to account on too many things. And it's like, now it's time to get back and do that.
Exercise.
So
I hope you do. I hope you exercise.
Well, we built a gym in our garage. We have to use it now. We have spent money and time in the garage and space.
You have to send me some pictures of it. No chance I'll ever see it.
Someday I will. When I get out there. It's been built for a month. Just got to get to clean up and organize it.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. Hope you have a great holiday, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.